Hello and welcome to the MMA Crypt Fighting Talk show. On today's show, I'll be speaking with Bellator light heavyweight Linton Vassell. Linton is set to compete on the upcoming Bellator 122 card on the 25th of July. With that, welcome to the show, Linton.
Hello, how you doing? You alright?
Yeah, not too bad, Linton. Now, you've had a couple of things going on career-wise recently, Linton. New boss and your third fight on the horizon with Bellator. I'd like to start with your new boss, first and foremost, Scott Coker. He's just replaced Bjorn Rebney as president of Bellator Mixed Martial Arts. Thoughts on the new boss, please, Linton?
Hello, mate. Yeah. Well, hopefully, I wouldn't say I have to have something to prove. Hopefully he knows or has heard of me or seen my fights. But, hopefully big things are coming, really. For what he done for Strikeforce, that was a very big show. So all I can see is, big things happening, really.
Yeah, he carries a big reputation. Excited?
Yeah, I'm well excited. Yeah, I can't wait, to meet him and see what he's got for us.
Well, he's wasted no time in changing the season format. He's scrapped the tournaments. Now, Coker did say that he would bring back the tournament, so it's not totally scrapped. Obviously, the season, where it goes on for literally 3 months straight, that's gone now. So the way I'm looking at this, Linton, is there's no more back-to-back events now. Every week continuous for 3 months, cramming it down our throats. And then obviously we have 3 or 4 months with no Bellator action. So from a fan's perspective, the loss of the tournament is pretty good. Now from a fighter's perspective, which is the second way to look at it, obviously the tournament format, it really helps up-and-coming fighters. It really gives them a chance to shine and obviously earn a title shot. Could you give us your thoughts on the season tournament going away, please, Linton?
Well, yeah, obviously I'm a little bit gutted with that sort of getting scrapped because obviously I'd love to have fought on the tournament. But if you say they haven't scrapped it totally, then it'd be hopefully something I can compete in. But yeah, with the you say putting on bigger shows, that's also great because then obviously I'll be put out there a bit more. As I say, if we need a couple of good wins, I'm 2-0 in Bellator so far. So get this next win, and just sort of go from there. And then, once I've gone 4-5-0, then big contenders, title fights and stuff like that hopefully should be coming.
I was looking for the roster today. There's no more Houston Alexander. Vladimir Matchenko's gone. There's been a big roster change.
Yeah, I didn't know Houston had gone.
Yeah, he's not on the roster no more.
I didn't realise he had gone.
Yeah, it's been chopped at least by about a good 10 fighters, Linton.
Okay, well, I have to check myself then. I'm not had a look recently at the roster, but yeah, I didn't know Alexander had been.
Was Houston the name that you were sort of looking at facing at some point, possibly? Was that name
well, any of them, that said, basically, I'm here to fight. So obviously, whatever name they bring for me, then that's who I'll fight. I'm there to win, so I'm there to fight. So you can't really be picking and choosing who you're fighting. That's no good for your own career, is it?
Well, speaking of proving something to Scott Coker, now for me, I feel like there's a lot of investment by Bellator and Viacom in the UK market.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of UK MMA talent signed to the Bellator roster over the past 12 months.
Yeah.
I feel like Scott Coker will be looking at this and wanting someone to step up and be the guy he can market to the UK fans. Sort of like what Michael Bisping did for the UFC and now Conor McGregor.
I see. Yes, mate.
Would you agree? And do you think you can be that guy?
Yes, I definitely can be that guy. As I say, I'll keep winning and, finishing fights as well is always a good thing. No one really wants to see the fight going the whole distance. Fans love seeing fights getting finished by knockout or TKO, referee stoppage. And I think that's what I do. On my records, I've finished practically most of my fights. I think there's only 2 that have gone distance. But yeah, hopefully I could be that guy and, be the face for the UK.
Well, moving back to the tournament for a minute, Linton. It was only announced last week that the previous tournament winners would not have to enter a tournament to get a title shot in the future. Basically, once you've won a tournament, you will be part of an elite group of fighters who will face each other for a title shot. obviously that won't be happening anymore. What did you make of the concept of the little elite group of fighters who won the tournament? They will never have to enter a tournament again.
Well, I think that's fair enough. That's right. You know, you've done the hard work. You've won the tournament, and to say you might not have won the title fight, but you know you should get a rematch. If it's a close fight, then yeah, you should get a rematch. If it wasn't a close fight, then you know you should go to the back of the line and you know have a couple more fights. I think, but yeah, I didn't think that was a bad decision to do that. You know, you've done the hard work, so you should get paid for it.
Moving on to Bjorn Rebney for a second. Now, I've heard a lot of nice things said about Bjorn Rebney by a lot of fighters, to be honest, personally. Then obviously we've seen him shake his head when Eddie Alvarez won the title from Chandler. We all heard what King Mo had to say post-fight with Rampage Jackson. What's your take on Bjorn, you know? Are you sad to see him leave? Yeah,
definitely. I haven't got a bad word to say about him, you know. Obviously, the short time I actually did meet him, he always had time for me to talk, you know. Yeah, I can't really say a bad thing about him. It was my boss for a short time, but, you know, he done me well.
Now, he claimed he never had favourite fighters. Do you think he got sort of a bad rep for that? Sort of unfair.
Yeah, everyone always had something bad to say about him, didn't they? Not everyone, but people. But, you know, it's the sport. Everyone's going to say something bad. Like if you have a bad fight or something, someone's always going to say something. Oh, he done this, he done that, he's boring. There's always going to be haters, regardless, whatever you do.
I feel like he sort of shot straight from the hip, and then that was sort of his downfall in a way. He was always very honest. Danny White's honest too, but for some reason he didn't take the sort of heat that Bjorn did. Okay,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, but you know, speak the truth. You know, don't ask questions. You want to hear the truth, innit?
Well, something else Bjorn was criticised for was bringing in past names, especially on the underground, on the forums. I was reading the other day about the Phil Baroni and the Karo Parisian fight. Someone said, do they think it's 2004? Now, you can see where the point's coming from. They've signed some recent names like Tito Ortiz, Soccer James Irvin also. Now, the main point about this is these guys are coming off losses, not coming off a win streak. Now, me personally, I don't mind seeing the likes of Phil Baroni and Soccer being signed by Bellator. You know, I think it's good that these guys with, you know, names in mixed martial arts are being given a chance to get the careers back on track. Now, Karo Parisian, he was
That's right. It's an extra chance. You know, if they lose another two, then probably, then, you know, they'll probably be gone or something. But it shouldn't have to be, oh, you've lost two, we're not going to sign you. Or if people do exciting fights, then why not?
Karo Parisian was one of the top 3 in the world at one point. He suffered panic attacks and whatnot, and you know he had a bit of an iffy time. But still, I consider him one of the best. You know, obviously it might not be now. The sport's evolved in the past 5 years, but still, this guy deserves a chance to come back and you know be given a chance to shine. Anderson Silva in his pride days, he went to Cage Rage, they gave him a chance. He went to the UFC, got the belt, defeated Travis Luter, Nate Marquardt, and there we go. The rest is history.
Exactly. That's the thing. Everyone needs a chance. It's their life. It's their career. You know, we're here to fight. So you know, give people opportunity. You shouldn't have to be just on the records because he's only won 2 fights or he's lost 2 fights or you know, we're not going to sign you because you know you've lost the fight.
Well, you know it's a tough sport. Not only are you competing, training, stay motivated, it's also financial-wise too. If you're not in the big promotions, it's very, very tough to, you know, stay committed to this sport. So, definitely, I'm a big fan of it. Now, there was rumours of Ricardo Arona signing with Bellator last week, roughly 10 days ago. Was that a story you was monitoring closely?
No. Who was that? Did you say signed?
Ricardo Arona.
No, I didn't know that. I've not heard anything about that.
The old Pride veteran who Quentin Rampage Jackson picked up and slammed. He must have told you about
the
story.
I know who he is, because I remember that fight. It was known for the Rampage slam.
It's pretty sad. He's had some good fights over the years, but he's only known for the Rampage slam.
Yeah, because it was like a highlight reel, wasn't it, for years and years. Still is now. But I say Bellator signed him, you said?
They put an offer to him, but obviously he's not fully healed. He wants to be 100% before he competes. But with him being like a bit of a legend of the sport, I was hoping maybe you was
That's
keeping
right.
tabs on him, someone you might like to face. Well, let's move on to the upcoming fight at Bellator 122 on the 25th of July. You're facing off against Virgil Zwicker with a 12-3 record. Now, the first thing that popped out to me when viewing his record is the Ovint St. Preux TKO victory back in 2009. Now, obviously, that's 5 years ago, but is that an instant warning sign to you right away that this guy is a very dangerous opponent?
No, it's, records are records, isn't it, man? Everyone's different. You could be anyone at any given night. It's me and him on that night, It's like training partners. When people say, I train with him. But they're not in there with you. It's going to be you two, So you can have a big win on your record. You can lose by someone rubbish on the record, whatever. It is what it is, and, just got to show up on the night and do your thing. That's what will happen.
Well, on paper, it is pretty much a mirror image fight. Close records.
Yeah.
But
pretty similar. I've had one more fight than him.
The only thing I did notice is he's been fighting a little longer than you. His first pro fight was back in 2003. Obviously, there's not too much time difference between you both. There was non-sanctioned fights back in the day, so it could have been a little bit earlier than that. Now, I was also watching footage on him today. He seems very composed in his striking exchanges, very coy. He likes to get in the clinch exchanges after every combination thrown.
It's pretty all-rounder. Yeah, it's a pretty all-rounder fight, what I've seen from him. And I think that's what I need. I need that next step. Every fight, I need to step it up. So this is the next stage in my career. So, this is the next level I need to take. So it's going to be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. I need to be pushed that level. So.
Well, my question is, Linton, obviously he likes to get into the clinch to disturb the rhythm of his opponent's striking game. Would you welcome him getting in the clinch with you, for the easy takedown?
Well, whatever happens in the fight, I'll be happy to wherever it goes. Stay standing on the ground, but I will make it, obviously, my fight. I won't be fighting his fight. I'll be fighting my fight.
Well, because you are a big, strong guy, he did face off against LeVar Johnson a while back in Strikeforce, so I did go and search that fight out. Obviously, LeVar's a big, strong guy himself, so I wanted to see how he handled a bigger, stronger fighter. When I was watching the fight,
LeVar was just... Yeah, go on, sorry.
Virgil really reminded me of Paul Buentello. Sort of tubby frame, but very fast. And this was at heavyweight. Could you imagine him coming down to light heavyweight and how fast he could be then? Also, he's got good head movement and foot movement. But the main thing for me, and the worry, is his angles in which he throws his punches and the striking power he possesses. Now, I don't want you to give away your game plan, but is it very critical in this fight that you get the fight to the ground?
Now, as I said, I've been working on everything, so I've seen these fights, and it is what it is, He throws a punch, obviously I'm going to block it, or I'm going to throw a punch back. So, wherever I feel comfortable, that's where the fight will go. So very probably say I'm going to take him straight down, or I'm just going to stand with him, because on the night, whatever your game plan's going to be, it never sticks to that. You can have a couple of things you're going to do, but on the night, it's never going to go exactly that way. So wherever the fight is going to be, it is, and then wherever I feel comfortable, I'm going to make it go to that place. So,
Linton, I know you're going to take him down. You can't swerve me.
I can't swerve you. Well, maybe that's what I want people to think.
There you go, mind games. Hope you're listening there, Virgil. Well, I do notice that he's a Team Quest guy. Obviously, he doesn't have the same reputation like he did back in the day, but obviously he's getting some well-rounded training in there. Mainly the wrestling, that's what they do over there. Now, obviously, if he doesn't make many mistakes and he doesn't go over-committing himself, then obviously the takedown won't present itself as easy. So this could really turn into a striking exchange, which obviously my next question was going to be, would you really like to test your skills against a striker of his caliber? Because it's very unorthodox, his striking in a way. Is this something you might relish in a way?
Yeah, I've seen his fights and that, and I've seen the way he fights. He's very unorthodox. But then that's like me in my first fight on Bellator. The commentators were like, "Well, he's unorthodox. He's doing the 2-1 or the 1-2, or and the way my grappling is." So I think we're both going to be unorthodox, and it's going to be a exciting fight.
Now, I find that you're more of a patient fighter, Linton. Now, I watched a couple of his fights today, like I mentioned, and Virgil's very wild, aggressive, burns a lot of energy early on in his fights. Not very conservative with his energy, put it that way. Do you think maybe midway through the fight is when it's there for the taking?
Well, I'd say that's just me as a person. I don't rush. I don't see the point of rushing. Why rush a fight? The fight will end when it ends at the end of the day. Obviously, when the finish is there, you go for the finish. But I don't see the thing, let's try and finish this fight in the first round or the second round, You know when someone's feeling it, and you know when something's there. Maybe if he's tied at halfway through the first or second, even third, then I'll push it and finish him off.
Now, Virgil has worked under Scott Coker before at Strikeforce. Do you think that's going to add fuel to his fire to come out even harder and get that knockout victory to say to his old boss, basically, do you remember me?
Do you remember me? Yeah.
Well, for a lot of the Bellator fighters now, it's obviously it's a new time. Apparently, there's going to be a new name into Bellator, so all's fresh. Do you feel like it's going to reinvigorate a lot of the fighters?
Yeah, definitely. I say people have a lot to prove. You say no one's obviously worked for not no one, but there's a lot of fighters that haven't worked for him. So they'd want to be showing their boss who's top dog, really, wouldn't they? So this next show, people are going to want to make a statement, really.
Linton, is there a message you would like to leave for your opponent and your fans come the 25th of July?
Just thank you for all the support from my fans, and fight night is gonna come in 4.5 weeks. Any
sponsors or thanks before we leave, Linton?
I'd like to thank Good Nutrition, Bamboo Nutra, OT Therapy, Impact, Rev Gear, Soulmate Food, and The Warehouse MK.
To the UK viewers, I do not have confirmation, but you can usually catch Bellator events on a 24-hour tape delay over on the Viva channel. From MMA Crypt Fighting Talk, thank you for watching.